Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of New Product Innovation. As a product manager who's working in the home appliance industry for the last 10 years, I've seen the advancement happening in AI and how AI has been transforming lots of industries. But one of the things that worried me a bit in the last period is that even though that the tech industry is what created the AI frameworks, tools that we're using today, they were the first people to get hit with the AI layoffs. So as you can see today, companies like Google, Meta, Alphabet, and many others have laid off hundreds and thousands of people because they could just automate their tasks using AI, or they can leverage the AI productivity to reduce the number of people they need to have to do a certain job. Working in the home appliance industry, some people may say, well, that can come and take some of the repetitive tasks, but more or less for a product manager, it won't replace me. That's where you're wrong. AI will not replace you as a product manager working in the home appliance industry, but in reality, a product manager who knows how to use AI and knows how to leverage it to be able to do his work or her work more productively and enhance the way it does the analysis will replace you. And instead of having 3, 4, 5 product managers managing 6, 7, 8 categories, you may have 2 product managers managing 10 categories. And under each product manager, you would have lots of AI agents and AI assistants that helps them and do all the analysis and give them the summaries, and they take the decision. So as a matter of fact, one of the things I really wanted to do was to try and understand, okay, if AI is going to replace us or is going to make our life much harder in the future to find a job or even find a bigger scope, how can I leverage AI in order to help me in my role and at the same time leverage this kind of tool to do a better job in a faster way? I try to do that first with a very simple example, and let's go through it together here. So the intention was in reality to try and leverage how can I use the AI to do a simple task like pricing analysis. So what I wanted to do initially was take the market and assume I have all the data of a washing machine market where the market is distributed between 25,000 Egyptian pounds because I come from Egypt, so I use the market I came from, up to 50,000 Egyptian pounds. And as a front-loaded washing machine, you would have more or less 6 kg, 7 kg, 8 kg, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And across the board, you would have how many SKUs are distributed in each segment, and then asking the AI to do the analysis to try and understand which segment is growing, or maybe not growing, but which segment has the biggest potential, and also try to investigate. So let's go through the prompts. So in the beginning, I told, okay, I want to teach product managers in the home appliance industry how to use AI in their work. And let's try an example. I asked to generate a fictional list of 200 models of washing machines between 6 and 13 kg with an increment of 1 kilogram. And each model has a price between 25,000 and 60,000 at random, taking into consideration that usually higher capacity have a higher price point. Ideally, what you would do is you would have the actual data that has the pricing of specific models and then ask it to do the analysis based on that. And usually this kind of analysis that we do here is not only based on number of SKUs across different price point and different models, but it's rather the market size in terms of volume or value. But since we don't have the data, the easiest part is if you don't have access to data, you go online, you start scouting all the brands what models do they have, at which price point, in which capacity. So what it did was, okay, it started to assume based on my prompt that you would have models in between 6 and 8 kg in a budget-friendly zone, sweet spot 8 to 10, and premium niche between 11 and 13. And then it started doing some assumption that one brand would be in lower capacity, another brand would be in the mid-range, another brand was in the high capacity. And I asked it to start creating the heat map on the Google Sheets. So it started giving me the list and telling me how to create the heat map. But that was not really my intention. So I started giving it another prompt. Okay, create the heat map with the number of SKUs in each cell. And it started understanding that it had to create its own heat map and start putting the table. But if you start looking at the table here, because it's a random data and because it's fictional list, it doesn't look realistically. So I started giving it more prompts to try and make it more or less more realistic. And based on that, it started adjusting and making the lists more realistically. And from that, let's assume that this is the current market situation today. So what we would do as product manager is, after we see this kind of map or heat map, we start seeing, okay, the segment of 10 kg has the highest number of SKUs, or let's assume this is the highest number of market size. And the lowest one is the 6 kg and the 10 and the 12 and 13, but these two maybe have the highest potential because the market usually grows in the bigger segments. And based on that, AI started giving me instruction that in order to ideally understand this kind of data, what you would usually do is do something called clustering. So you would give the AI a prompt after you give it the entire amount of data you have based on the market sizing and the models and the capacities and the price band, and ask it to do the clustering based on the prices and based on the capacity. And the point of having that done by AI is that it will do that objectively and quite quickly. And then you can scale that model. So at this point, you only ask it to do the heat map based on the price and the capacity. But at the same time, you can give it also other patterns. You can give it the models with features like energy, water consumption, smart features, and then ask it to adapt the model of the heat map, not just based on the capacities, but also based on other parameters. Like, for example, spin rate, or having a steam function, or for example, having quick functions like 25 minutes, 50 minutes, 30 minutes. And with that kind of clustering, ideally using a human being, right? You can do that maybe with a pivot, but with AI, these things can be done in a matter of seconds. So with this massive amount of data and crafting a very good prompt, you can cluster the data you have in order to see segments in a completely different manner versus what you used to see before. And that allows you to deep dive into data and the analysis to discover maybe a hidden gem, a segment where potentially if you start launching a model there, create something as a new innovation in that area with that price point, you can grow significantly in the market. So it starts then giving you more of scenario planning, right? So it tells you, okay, let's deep dive into the data we have. And based on the data, we are going to assume that there is that segment that has a mix of specific prices and it shows a very good growth. And the one thing that it was quite clear is after you have that analysis, you would need to understand models that are in that segment, which brands are there, why is it growing, and which features it's attracting. So because it's a fictional example, it's taking the models, so it's giving me here, okay, these are the models, these are the capacities and the prices. And to try and understand why is it growing, it gives you, for example, some scenarios. So it says, okay, let's do a feature analysis. Like, let's look at some of the features that the models in that segment has, like an AI wash, what type of motor, does it have steam, and based on this kind of analysis and clustering, you can make more sense of the data. So the benefit of having AI doing these kind of things, that it takes time from a product manager to create all this kind of analysis, and sometimes it can be subjective because you're looking at this certain set of data in a certain way. Having AI doing something like this enables looking at the data from different angles. So with one single prompt, you're able to ask AI to recraft the data in a certain way and do the analysis from a multiple angles, and then summarize all of this and give you a descriptive summary. In the next video, we're going to start asking the AI to regenerate the data, and then we're going to learn how to create a prompt that reduces the number of bytes and at the same time allows us to look at this kind of analysis from several angles. As a summary, in the end, you have to start experimenting with AI on the things you do on a daily basis, on the things that require massive amount of cognitive effort to do all this analysis to come at a conclusion. AI can help you analyze these things in a much faster and more efficient way, but your skill in the next period is how you can master communicating with AI in order to deliver that analysis in the right way with the right insight. I hope you liked the video. Please share it and give me your comments if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you.